What's up, everybody? Welcome to Queer Girl Straight Skates. I'm Rebel, and today I'm going to teach you the most important steps that you need to know and you need to practice in order to get good at striding on your roller skates. Queer Girl Straight Skates is a YouTube channel all about roller skating. So if you want to learn how to roller skate, or if you think roller skating might be something interesting that you like, then you should hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell so that you can get notified when I post. I put out new videos every Tuesday. And if you want to support my shop, head on over to cheersthequeers.com, because that is a place where you can get a bunch of cute stuff, but also any purchase you make helps to support this channel. The big difference between walking skating and striding is walking skating, your feet are like straight ahead so that it looks kind of like this, and it's awkward and it doesn't really get you much momentum and it's hard to do. And a lot of times you're pushing and you end up, maybe you've done this before, you end up pushing with your toe stop because that's the only momentum you can really get. And that's walking skating. Striding skating is more of a V, and you're pushing with your skates, but you're not pushing with the flat, like the straight on part of your skates, you're pushing with the side of your skates. So what it looks like is this. So when you're striding, instead of just walking like this, you're pushing your feet out and it looks like this. You're doing less work and you're getting farther. So that's what a stride is, and that's what we're going to talk about today, and that's our goal, is trying to get into striding, where you're doing a little bit less work and it's smoother as opposed to just walking, which is something that we unaccidentally do when we're first starting skating. So what we're learning today is we're actually learning some steps that we can take and we can practice that will really help with our striding. So the first thing that you're going to want to learn how to do is you're going to want to learn how to do bubbles. Now bubbles, what you're doing is you're starting with your feet out in a V position, you bend your knees to go wider, and then you straighten up to meet your feet together. So you're going to want to try practicing bubbles again and again in a row. So this is the first exercise or skill to practice in order to increase your ability at striding. So let me show you what a bubble looks like just on its own, and then what it looks like in a line of bubbles. Okay, so you're gonna start with your feet in a V and your legs are straight, and then you're gonna bend your knees and go out, and then straighten that up and come back together with your feet. And then you're gonna go again. Bend, go out, and then bring it together in the front. It's really important that you bring your legs together at the front. If you don't bring your legs together, you're gonna have a really hard time going back out into the bubble, and that might look like this. And if you find yourself doing this, the reason why is because you haven't gone back and closed that bubble at the top. So practice your bubbles. And that bubble practice in a row is going to look like this. And you just want to keep going until you feel comfortable. The thing about bubbles, if you're having a hard time getting into it, you can give yourself a little push, and then you can go, okay, now we're going to bubble. Once you feel comfortable with bubbling with both feet, which is your first step, you're going to start practicing bubbling with one foot. What do I mean by bubbling with one foot? I mean that you're going to do it with both your right foot and your left foot. So your one foot is going to be going forward, your other foot is going to be making the bubbling pattern, but both legs are still going to be doing the bend and straighten movement. So in slow motion and just one bubble, it would look like this. So you're starting like this, you bend and you straighten. So if you're going with your right leg first, then it looks like this. Your left leg's going forward, your right leg bends out and comes in. Right leg out, comes in. Notice both my legs are bending, but only my right leg is doing the bubble. So what that looks like coming towards you, bubble. Bubble. Really important. You want to keep your eyes ahead, not looking down at your feet. So bubbling with one leg. And then you want to practice the other side. So the other side is your right foot is going forward, your left foot is bubbling out. Right forward, left bubbling out. Again, bubbling with one leg, but bending with both legs. Bubbling with the left. And what that looks like in a sequence, gonna get some speed. Left, bubble, left. And this is gonna feel like a workout, and your legs are gonna be like, oh my gosh! And that's how you know you're doing it right. It is definitely a workout. So that was step 2. So step 3, we're actually gonna put all of those things together. So remember that these are all skills or things that you should practice. You probably won't get all of these right on top of each other right away, and that's okay. So first you wanna master bubbling, then you wanna try and master bubbling with one foot, and then after you feel confident with that, what you're gonna do is you're actually going to bubble with both feet, but you're gonna alternate. So instead of doing a bubble that's like this, remember how the last step we went bubble, bubble, bubble with our right foot and then bubble, bubble, bubble with our left foot? Well, this time we are going to bubble with the right foot, then bubble with the left foot, and then bubble with the right foot, and then bubble with the left foot, and then right foot, left foot, right foot. So it goes like this. Bubble with the right foot, left foot, bubble, and then bubble. You're doing these one-footed bubbles, and you're trying not to skate through poop. Bubble with the right foot, bubble with the left foot. This comes with practice. So when you're first starting this, it might look a lot more like this. And that's totally okay. So just remember to come together after each bubble. You can go right. Okay, what is it? Oh, it's left. Okay. All right. Right. Okay. Okay, left. Okay. And that's okay. So getting used to it like that is totally normal. And this is going to be one of the most helpful things that you can practice to help you improve your striding. That is step 3. Step 4 is actually going to deviate a little bit from the bubble world. And what we're gonna do is it's actually first gonna start just standing still. So the first thing that we're gonna do, and you can practice this with something, like if you wanted to practice with a wall, or if you had something that you could hold on to stabilize you, what we're practicing is our 1-foot balance. The reason why we practice 1-foot balance is because when you're striding, you're essentially balancing for half a second on each leg. So standing still, we're just gonna practice picking up the right leg, picking up the left leg, picking up the right leg, picking up the left leg. And you wanna try and shift your balance. That's the way it's gonna be successful. So you being able to hold that foot up is all dependent on you being able to shift your balance and your weight to the other foot. Balance and weight, balance and weight. So you're not trying to just stand here and hold it forever, although that is also really helpful and you might wanna practice that as well. But for striding specifically, shifting balance, shifting balance. And once you feel comfortable with that, say you're on like a couch, or say you're on a fence or something like that, then try it without the fence or the couch. And then once you feel confident with that, then you're gonna try it moving. And when you're trying it moving, it's not gonna look cute, and that's okay. We're not trying to look cute. We're trying to master some skills here. So what you're gonna do, and this, it's very, very important that you keep yourself up and you're not just looking down at your skates, because when you look down at your skates, that's where you're gonna go, meaning you're probably gonna fall. So you wanna look straight ahead. I recommend doing a lot of knee bending for this, because that's the easiest way to like just stay grounded in yourself. So you're just gonna start going. You're gonna pick up one foot and then pick up the next foot. Pick up one foot, pick up the next foot. So you're looking forward. I'm not trying to push. I'm not trying to push myself. All I'm doing is I'm just letting myself roll and going from one foot to the next. One foot to the next. Just shifting my balance, shifting my weight. So that's the next thing that you want to establish for yourself. That is step 4. Once you're like, all right, got the bubbles, got the 1-footed bubbles, got the alternating bubbles, I got my balancing back and forth. Now what, Rebel? Well, now you are ready to stride. Our final step, the last thing that we're gonna practice, now that we know how to bubble with one leg, how to alternate bubbles, and how to alternate your weight back and forth, we're gonna take that alternating bubble, we're going back to that, and what I want you to imagine is that alternating bubble you're doing, that's actually your stride. The only difference between that alternating bubble and your stride is that your feet are a little bit more pointed out, and instead of doing the bubble, you're kicking off and pushing. So what that looks like is, if this is your alternating bubble in slow motion, when you're striding, you're just angling these feet out a little bit more. So if I'm going like this, I'm gonna angle this foot out and push instead of doing the actual D or C. So if I was gonna do a bubble, instead of going like this, I'm going like that. So instead of going like this, I'm going like that. So what that looks like in practice is angling out and pushing, pushing, angling out and push, angling out and push. So a stride looks like this. You're not going forward. You're thinking about skating in a V. I apologize for all the poop. So I'm gonna stride to the left and I'm pushing with the inside of that foot. Striding to the right and I'm pushing with the inside of that foot. Push, push, bending. In the same way with when the bubbles, you bend and up. If I'm striding, I'm bending and up. Same bubbles, bend up, striding, bend up. Stride, bend up, stride, bend up. Angled, up, bend up, bend up. Biggest, most important thing about striding is that when you're pushing, you are not pushing with this part of your foot. You're not going like this. You're not going like this. What you're doing instead is you are pushing with this inside part of your skate, and these inside two wheels are the last things to leave the ground. So you're pushing, and that's what's getting you up. Push, push. Your foot, even if, so this is why those two things are important. If my feet are straight ahead, but I push like this, I'm gonna get a little bit, but I'm still not gonna get very far. But if my foot is angled and I'm pushing, I'm gonna get a lot farther. So practice all of those steps. Practice the bubbling with both feet. Practice bubbling with one foot on both sides. There's gonna be one side that's gonna be weaker than the other, totally normal. Then practice bubbling and alternating those feet. Then practice balancing from one side to the next and shifting your weight. Then practice striding, but make sure your feet are in a V and make sure you're pushing out and using the sides of your wheels instead of the fronts of the wheels. And that's how you stride. And those are some excellent skills to practice to better your stride, make you a stronger skater, make you able to skate longer and honestly skate faster as well, because you're making your body and your skates work with you instead of working against you and making more work for yourself. So happy striding, everybody. Thanks so much for watching this episode of Queer Girl Straight Skates. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me which of the steps that I gave you today are the most helpful, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to head on over to cheerstothequeers.com and support my shop. And most importantly, cheers to the queer.